Oh, well, did you guys know that the CCP's COVID vaccine is made out of hamsters?
Hello and welcome.
Hello, hello.
It's another Dark Souls Monday.
Dark Souls Monday. Oh, was I supposed to, like, at the same time?
Yeah, but it's ruined now.
We can try it again.
Nope, it's over.
Dark Souls Monday.
Dark Souls Monday.
Oh, now we just fucked it up twice.
Yeah, we sure did.
So, I've decided to do something ingenious for my 3 drinks. So you may say, Mr. Albatross, after I say this, that's not 3 drinks, that's 1 drink. But no, I've simply combined them in 1 vessel. There's still 3 distinct drinks. They're just in 1 cup. And you say, no, that's bullshit. That's fucking nonsense. That's called a cocktail, you jackass.
Yeah.
But hear me out.
Okay.
I have taken a green tea, which I have iced. Then I got a little bit of the San Pellegrino Pomelo grapefruit juice, which I didn't check beforehand and does not include any grains. That's good. And then I have a lemon lime seltzer.
Does that contain grains?
No, the seltzer just contains water, hopefully.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's not jam-packed with flour?
I would be really... I'd feel so betrayed. I know it's kind of a stereotype kind of thing, but I'd still feel so fucking betrayed if they were like, nah, we made it so you can't drink the seltzer.
Happy Passover, ass face.
Chag Samag, no more seltzer.
I just got an offer I can't refuse in chat.
Oh?
Want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers. BigFollows.com.
Big follows. I prefer bignaturals.com, but like to each their own.
I prefer Big Comes.
I mean, time has become so convoluted in the pandemic that I feel like we can just make statements like, anyone else remember playing Team Fortress 2 in 2012 and everyone just screamed at you? And like somebody out there would be like, oh, I remember the good times, yeah.
That face when in 2018 playing Team Fortress 2 and get yelled at by child? Bottom text?
Yeah. And then somebody's gonna be like, I just wish things would go back to normal. And you'll be like, cool, that's valid.
It's 2019. You open your eyes. It's Sigward. He offers you a Sigbrow and goes, what pandemic? What are you talking about? Bottom text.
I really want to know why this guy wrote head next to the screamer.
Dude wanted some head.
I don't know.
Couldn't get any head.
Well, step 1, you're playing Dark Souls.
Are you implying that you can't play Dark Souls and get some head?
I just think, like, it's a little... No, I'm not going to say it's impossible. I just think that if you're like... Okay, so when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I'm kind of hungry, and maybe I should have a bowl of cereal or something, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go out and you make coffee and you have a cigarette and, like, you check the daily news. Where's that bowl of cereal at? You see what I'm getting at? You know? All the efforts you've made so far today have not been getting the cereal. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think of when you say, well, wish I was getting head continues to kill invaders. You're not making any effort.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What? Okay. So, you were like, whoa, you saying you can't play Dark Souls and get head? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you're currently playing Dark Souls, you're working on playing Dark Souls. You're not working on getting head.
Okay.
You pick it up what I'm putting down?
Yeah. I get you.
To the coffee metaphor. If I wake up in the morning and I say I want a bowl of cereal, and I do everything but make a bowl of cereal, I can't really complain about wanting cereal, can I?
Well, you can.
I can, but I'm not making any effort to get cereal. I'm making coffee. I'm having a smoke. I'm checking the news. You know, I'm doing all this non-cereal stuff.
Doing the non-cereal related stuff.
So I know, like, in China, they got this thing called the giant salamander.
Okay.
So I've often felt that, like, when they're like, oh, it's a giant version of a regular animal, it's usually disappointing how big it is.
Yeah.
You know what? Because you're like, oh, well, this animal's normally 4 inches. Well, this one's 8. And you're like, well...
It's like when you see, like, a bird-eating spider, and you're like, oh, I thought that thing was going to be, like, the size of a football.
Yeah. Why not? Like, that is double the size of a normal one. You're right, that's pretty big.
That is big comparatively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Chinese giant salamander does not disappoint.
No.
No, these guys are like 8 feet long.
Holy
like,
shit.
Oh yeah, they like weigh up to like 300 or 400 pounds. Like they're
what the fuck?
They're huge. They are huge creatures. And they just live in rivers, and fewer as in China has been more industrialized, and like they're losing the giant salamander population to this, and that's unfortunate. Maybe they too will maybe there's kids in China right now who are growing up watching cartoons, and they're like, oh look, a giant salamander, that's so cool. And like maybe the kid rides it, and they're like, oh, you probably can't ride one, but you know, I bet they're cool to see.
Yeah.
And then they get to like grow up, and then they're like, oh, whatever happened to all my giant salamander friends? And they're like, well, we industrialized.
Industry.
We got belts and roads, but we don't got salamanders. What is the price of Chinese hubris?
Salamanders, apparently. Holy shit!
We don't talk about that.
Damage to me.
Welcome to my New York Times column article where I talk about the true lament of the CCP's totalitarian development, the loss of the giant salamander.
What has communism done?
It's the RLC all over again.
Can we talk about the weird anti-CCP parade I saw the other day?
Yeah, we can talk about that. Because
holy shit, that was fucking wild.
That was a weird thing. You might want to fill people in.
Yeah.
Because not everyone is in our group DM.
Well, I also shared this on Twitter, so it's only their fault if they don't follow me on Twitter. At Cardboard Robo YT. So I was driving down the street the other day. I was on a major highway in New Jersey, and there's this long line of cars with signs on the top of them that say things like CCP to blame for COVID. CCP thrives, we all die. Communism kills everybody. And like China must be held responsible for the death. Very normal, very cool shit.
Yeah, this is wild. I mean, like...
Well, I'm pretty sure because they were having that Asian American BIPOC solidarity rally in New York City that day.
Sure.
I don't think those two events are unrelated.
Were they en route?
I mean, the way they were heading, they could easily been going towards the tunnel.
That's pretty messed up.
So that's what I had assumed, and that's super fucked up. And there were like 40 cars.
That's really weird. This is a really, like... I mean... I wanted to be more frivolous and talk about salamanders. But this is a genuinely frightening development and resurgence of open racism and kind of nationalistic competition.
Oh yeah.
That it's not really like foreign to the American culture, but it seems to have been revitalized to a certain degree in the recent years in preparing for a Cold War with China. And we don't even have a fucking space race this time.
Yeah, we get nothing out of a Cold War with China except for they can maybe say they fought communism again.
I hope that, like, if we're going to be entering a resurgent era of nationalistic competition between superpowers, that we get an interesting one. It's like, I get the impression it might just be like 100% cyber, and honestly, boring. Okay, so for example, during the Cold War with Russia, with the Soviet Union, right? There were Russia got annoyed, or the Soviets got annoyed when they discovered American airplanes flying over Russian airspace, and they were all like, "Hey, fuck you! You can't do that."
Right.
And the U.S. was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we won't do it." And so they were like, "Okay, can't do the spy planes anymore." They're onto it.
Right.
And so they had developed this little like, stupid fucking balloon. And they put up these weather balloons, is what they are, but they got a camera attached to them, right?
Okay.
And these weather balloons were in fact made by General Mills.
Hey.
So it may sound really weird, but this was like immediate. Like this was in the 1950s. I think it was like 58. So like a lot of industry was still like prepared for military production from World War II.
Right.
And General Mills knew how to make plastic packaging, like the bags you get Cheerios in.
Sure.
So like making a weather balloon was not that far off. And so they manufactured weather balloons for the CIA, and then they would fly these balloons. These are actually kind of cool. So there was like a camera in the weather balloon, right? Or rather, hanging from the weather balloon, and it would periodically just take photographs, just like click, click, click every now and then. And the whole name of the game was to fly these fuckers to like the edge of the Warsaw Pact, and like let them go, and just like natural air currents capture them and just cast them over at different latitudes all over the Soviet Union. And like then after they make their trip through over the Soviet Union, a pilot in a C-130 would catch them on the other side of the Pacific.
Right.
And this is balls to the walls crazy, but it did work. Except they were fairly visible and they got shot down pretty frequently. And there were a lot of PO'd Soviets and diplomats who were like, you can't just put cereal bags over our country with cameras. And the CIA was like, we're sorry.
Sorry.
So, funny thing was happening at this time. The Soviets were testing Luna 3. And Luna 3 was going to be the first unmanned or uncrewed spacecraft, I guess any spacecraft at this point, to do a flyby of the moon and hopefully take photos of the dark side of the moon. So they had done a test flight on this, and while in orbit, they realized something with the film. This was very early into the space race. We didn't really know how materials reacted in space, but the Soviet film totally fucking spoiled by the Van Allen belts, which are belts of radiation created by the combination of the Earth's magnetic field and the atmosphere.
Okay.
But it scrambles the fuck out of this film, and as it would conventional film too. So the Soviets were kind of like, how do we harden film to withstand the rigors of radiation in space? And then someone was like, wait, So what altitude do these weather balloons go at? That's in the ionosphere. Isn't there radiation up there? And by golly, there is. The CIA had developed film that was hardened from this, so they shot down the balloons, harvested the film of it, you cut that film to fit the Soviet cameras, and then sent that in Luna 3 to be the first uncrewed spacecraft to take photos of the dark side of the moon on CIA-provided film. Thank you, General Mills.
Holy shit!
Right, like that's what I'm talking about.
That's fucking crazy.
Okay, so that's what I mean. That's what I mean that we're like, if it's all cyber, we don't get that.
That's
we
true.
don't get General Mills accidentally putting CIA film and technology into the hands of the Soviets, which allowed them to beat America to take photos of the dark side of the moon first.
You're right. We are missing that, and that is upsetting on a fundamental level.
Oh, what about the story about how Pepsi once became like the second largest or sixth largest surface fleet, owned the sixth largest surface fleet in the world? Do you know that story?
Yes, I do, but you should definitely tell it.
Okay, so this was towards the end of the Cold War. Russians did want a lot of American products. That was kind of like the nature of it. There was this kind of like taboo nature among like American consumerism that seemed appealing, and that's why the Soviet Union was dissolved in order for Pizza Hut to exist. But like, part of this was a fascination with Pepsi, you know, and cola and other soda products, these staples of Western culture, and these true icons of American exemplarism, of, you know, having cola.
Mm-hmm.
And PepsiCo had a rare government-sanctioned deal where they could, in fact, do trade with the Soviet Union, and they would then trade the Pepsi for vodka. And so, towards the end of the Cold War, the Russian GDP or the Soviet GDP was not doing as well, and this Russian company couldn't afford to pay Pepsi for their portion of the deal, or the Russian state rather couldn't pay Pepsi, Soviet state, I suppose. So they were like, well, we got all this, you know, we have these destroyers, cruisers, and submarines that are due to be mothballed. Anyway, they're worth an incredible amount of money. You want them, PepsiCo. And some intrepid little sales agent or bill collector or whatever have you from PepsiCo was like, yeah!
Fuck yeah, I do.
And so they received something on the order of like 6 destroyers, 3 cruisers, 6 submarines, some patrol boats, and then the soda manufacturer PepsiCo found itself in possession of the 6th largest surface fleet of naval war vessels on the planet.
That's incredible.
And you may be wondering, well, why does Coca-Cola exist then? Why didn't they just blow Coca-Cola? Why didn't they go straight to Atlanta and be like, hey, what's up?
Get fucked.
Well, PepsiCo did want the money more than they wanted the ships, and the entire fleet was sold for scrap, which is how they did end up recovering the money for it. So they did end up getting paid, but for a brief period of time, PepsiCo had our 6th largest surface fleet of any country in the world.
That is an incredible story.
For your Sigurd.
Sigurd's last stand.
I, Siegfried of the Knights of Katarina, have come to uphold my promise. Let the sun shine upon this Lord of Cinder.
Yeah, what's going on now is not good. And yeah, the crocodile tears of these organizations saying like, oh well, we
shit.
Whoa. Whoa.
Storm one-shotted me. I don't know why I went after him instead of just gunning for Storm Ruler.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
Well, now I can grab Storm Ruler.
There you go.
Should have done that before. Yeah, the crocodile tears of these organizations being like, oh, well, we stand against hatred. And then, like, next week, they're publishing articles on how, like, oh, well, did you guys know that the CCP's COVID vaccine, is made out of hamsters?
Oh my god, I saw that.
And like, so I had a discussion with a scientist about that. A very ambiguously titled scientist. That's not fair to them. They've got their doctorate. So they're a scientist. And they were kind of two opinions on this. And one was when they read it and they're like, oh, I know the technique that they're referencing. That's actually really fucking interesting. I've never heard that used for this kind of vaccine work before. And then they were reading the article. They were like fascinated by the use of this technique in developing vaccines and that kind of stuff. Right. And I appreciate that insight. I appreciate knowing that it's not simply just Orientalism. But I had a little bit of difficulty explaining to them, like, well, I think most people see this and they think of like the whole, like, we got told all about the whole, like, oh well, they're over there eating bats and that's what made COVID, those wacko savages kind of thing. And like, this plays into this because it doesn't talk about stem cells. It doesn't talk about the headline doesn't talk about how this is an incredibly common technique. It doesn't even mention that the hamster cells in question are hamster cells sampled like 3 decades ago and that are preserved like in order to make specifically these kinds of things. Like, it lacks that nuance, and then like to the layman, you see that and you're like, oh, they're making it out of hamsters, fucking gross. And like the people at the New York Times are not unaware of this.
No, of course
almost
not.
certainly. They know their audience. I think the New York Times has demonstrated that it knows its audience quite well.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, you can go that way?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either until just now. I looked out on the big map and I was like, holy shit, I think I can do this.
Okay.
Hi, ladies. Excuse me. Pardon me.
So they know what they're doing. They know that they're stoking these tensions. And so, like, even though it can be, like, disguised as, like, oh, well, we're just doing a science piece. If you're just doing a science piece, there's a lot of fucking caveats. You didn't have to lead with they're making... If you're doing a science piece, you wouldn't lead with they're making vaccines out of hamsters.
No, if you're doing a science piece, you would talk about the science.
And the article does. The article does talk about the science, but I think that's kind of like part of what makes it so nefarious.
Mm-hmm. Is there the plausible deniability?
Well, there's the plausible deniability here, and like, also, like, they know damn well that most people read the headline. So, like, it's not like without... Oh my goodness, Yhorm.
Oh yeah, Yhorm's a big hit.
They know people mostly read the headline. And so they can write this frivolous, irresponsible thing as part of the headline and then be like, oh, well, but the article talks about the science. Well, most people don't read the article, and you know that.
Exactly. They're banking on that.
So like, why... What's the non-racist reason to, like, do this Orientalism where you make, like, the far-off East and their weird solutions to medicine where they make
magic tonics out of hamsters.
Yeah.
No, it's bullshit.
And this is like a technique used across the globe. So I don't know. This is particularly upsetting, I find. And not nearly as interesting as like the Cheerio company accidentally giving the Soviets the very film they needed to capture the footage of the dark side of the moon. That's really cool. Ha! We beat your friend! That's to make you feel
Sad.
good luck.
It seems
Raise the sun and shit.
I am in your debt.
Woo!
My thanks. To your valor and my...
Yeah, to your valor and Yhorm and Sun.
Well, you are...
You're gonna kill yourself as soon as I walk away, aren't you? When you walk away, please don't kill yourself.
So I hope we get cool shit. That's really what I'm saying. Like it's not off to a great start. This Cold War II Electric Boogaloo. Because like in the Cold War, I felt like the Soviets and the Americans both made like tons of cool planes and shit.
Sure.
It's all these cool planes and shit. And now the US is like, oh yeah, we're ready for Cold War II, Electric Boogaloo. Are you ready for our new plane? It sucks. And like, damn. Like, I grew up on a diet of military information. I come from a military family, and like, I had family in the Navy and the Air Force and all that, and going back generations.
Right.
And so, like, I had a little handbook that was my favorite book as a kid that had, like, a picture of every single tool in America's arsenal. And, like, I loved poring over that thing and studying the wing shape and detail and payload loadouts of all these planes and all this.
Mm-hmm.
F-35 sucks. It didn't used to be like that.
It didn't used to be like that.
It didn't used to be like that, Chad. It didn't used to be like that. We used to build things in this country. Now we're just paying the Defense Department billions to do nothing. Oh my God. The Belt and Road project costs less than the F-35. Like, China has brought like trains, roads, and like development to untouched areas of its country, in such an impressive and rapid rate, and is rapidly developing incredible amounts of industry and infrastructure, in modern infrastructure, the likes of which an expansion of like we haven't seen, like social, and oh my God, I just killed the firekeeper. But like projects.
Got too excited, killed the firekeeper.
All this impressive stuff that hasn't, like, the likes of which hasn't been attempted since, the Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm.
And they did all this for less than it cost us to build a shitty plane.
Yep.
We're engaged in a battle for global supremacy and hegemony. That's going to happen in a superpower. Say la guerre. Why can't the plane at least be cool?
That's the real question.
So other cool things that came out of the Cold War that aren't all space, because I could just go on and on. Remember Thunderbirds?
Yeah.
Pretty sure that came from that era.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% actually on when they made Thunderbirds or why, but it was cool.
But it was stinking cool.
Really liked Thunderbirds as a kid. I would practice walking like the janky-ass steps the marionettes would do.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I was pretty good at it. I don't know what age group, like, saying, oh yeah, well, I like Thunderbirds. I don't know what that dates me at. Because I don't think it dates me at my actual age. I'm, like, pretty sure it don't.
No, I'm pretty sure you're right. When did Thunderbirds air?
Don't you have a little helper?
Of Thunderbirds was September 30th, 1965.
Cold War!
Cold War.
Called it.
Absolutely right.
I remember sitting there on our 14-inch television.
Ooh,
We had just gotten color. And America was gonna land on the moon! I guess not for another 4 years, but...
But eventually.
It's gonna happen.
I hope this weird cup doesn't make this statue cut its head off. Oh, that's right, we gotta fight Dancer first.
That guy? Statue? Never saw Thunderbirds, so that's what happens.
I also like how the door shuts like you're not about to walk through.
Not only is there the doors shut, there's an incredibly large monster in your way. I guess you could make the argument that probably can't fit through the door. And you could just leave.
I'm pretty sure Dancer could fit through that door. Not easily, but she could slither her way through.
Yeah, that's probably true.
She's very slippery.
I just phased through a closed door.
Good job. Proud of you.
Thanks. And grab 1, 2, 3, 4. Attack 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, you're in
Swing
the wrong-
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're in the wrong time.
Who cares?
Dancer's a
I'll just-
waltz.
I'll just go faster.
Well, that's why you got grabbed.
Yeah, but I didn't die.
Somehow.
I am actually kind of shocked. Dancer left me with 1 HP. Attack 1, 2, 3. Attack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, nothing matters.
Remember when this was like one of the hardest bosses in Dark Souls for us?
Oh yeah, that was a good time. Now I'm soul level like, I don't know, 150 or something like that.
I'm not even over leveled.
That's true, but we have done it. Oh gosh, at
Dozen.
least a dozen times.
Yeah.
A dozen is like as high as I'm willing to go and still think it's a conservative estimate.
Yep.
Oh, I'm dead. Good luck. Kill him quickly! I want those souls!
I can't. She's doing that floppy thing she does, where she's like, I'm gonna hit all the things.
Oh, there's no way I'm getting
Oh.
them. No.
Woo! Dancer, that was close. Woohoo!
Hold me closer, Tony Danza.
Line the headlights on the highway. Wait, what?
Yeah, you can't say that no more. They flag you.
Fuck.
That's why you gotta say Tony Danza. That one's now it's parody.
As soon as you bring Tony Danza into this, it's a
It's
joke.
fine. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, goodbye, Dancer. Bye,
Hold me
Dancer.
closer. Counting Tonys on the highway.
How many Tonys can you spot?
Well, he's on the turnpike,
Oh no.
so probably a lot.
Hey, look, there's 873, 874, and we've only gone 3 exits.
I don't know why it was like, I'm gonna sing about driving on a turnpike and counting headlights. Like, who the... There's... You just see that there's a lot.
Well,
Who's counting them?
we're talking about a time before Flappy Bird and Angry Birds and all the bird games. What else did you have to do? You didn't have a cell phone.
I drive. I keep my eyes on the fucking road.
Well,
I guess I'm not some special boy who's got somebody, like, driving me around everywhere.
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. That's not my life.
You're not even a special boy.
No one drives me places.
No one drives you anywhere. Not special boy enough.
Well, I mean, nowadays it's mostly because I don't want to be exposed to their particles.
I mean, that's fair. Don't expose yourself to each other's particles.
Alright, so which one do you want to do first here?
Well, I think this might be a good place to leave it off.
Ooh, we have a forked path. Which way will we go?
Ooh, who knows? Who knows?
Leave
I'm
a
gonna
comment. Describe and tell us where you think we should go. If you think that we should go through Lothric Castle, use you can tweet at the cardboard robot
Run
with
hashtag
hashtag
Lothric.
Lothric Castle. And if you think that we should do the garden, do hashtag ACAB.
Yeah, that's the hashtag for the garden.
That's the hashtag for the garden.
ACAB.
Don't talk to pigs; they'll steal your kids. And Onceros knows that all too well.
That's true.
They tried to steal his kid, and he was like, "No,
No, I'm gonna build a secret garden.
I'm gonna make my kids so fucking hard to steal, you can't even render them." You know who has no problems with being perceived and not doing it the right time, wrong time? That kid.
All right, thank you everybody for watching. We're gonna wrap it up here.
Thank you for joining us. It was a great time.
And
Floopy, I hope you enjoy your school.
I hope you, I guess, don't come back now because we're gonna not be here. But I hope
that should be disappointing.
I hope you come back next time.
Next Dark Souls Monday.
Next Dark Souls Monday. It's gonna be at around the same time, so I hope y'all will come check it out.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope to see you there.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching my video. It's over now, so it's time to go. Or you could watch something else from me. I upload every other day, and most of my stuff is okay. Stop on by and check what else there is to see. Do 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 do